Behind the scenes. From Beyond The Sidelines.
It's a really good ball. It's Shabalala.
Seeking peace and prosperity for the FPL community in the league. I'm Corey Hendricks 10. Tell a friend. The player that I'm most happy with is Mbeumo. And listen, man's gonna do a little Mbeumo skanking. And the man them were like, oh yeah, just chill. Don't play no chips. Don't get too excited. Take this easy. And look at you, man, right now.
It's just pilot by day, pilot by night. We're gonna look into the game week. Bruno's been throwing up numbers, he's been consistent. I'm hoping everyone sells Palmer and I keep him, and then he does something, then I consider next week. And you gotta have captain on Superman Salah. Speculate to accumulate $1 million instantly, or you flip for $1 billion. I said I'm flipping for $1 billion.
It's your boy, L Boy is in the league, L's in the flesh, standard man with a plan. I'm rolling a transfer, guys. Mikalenko again is causing me a mind issue. This was one of those weeks where what was supposed to happen in football actually happened.
Team of the week this week goes to L Ballers.
Yo, what's going on? It's KSR. Catch you if you can in the league. No, I'm done. Do you know why? Because this none of you are ahead of me. Don't talk about crap. Saying that, I still got my triple captain. I've still got my assistant managership. Follow us and subscribe and share on all of our platforms.
We're recording, boys. We're recording. Welcome to an episode of episodes.
Episodes. Can't help it. Can't help it.
To piss him off.
BTS with BTS. Bam.
Yeah. Anyway, how are you boys doing today, man?
Good, man. Good. It's supposed to be summer, but it's raining outside as usual. Typical England.
I feel great, man. I feel stress-free. I feel like I don't need to worry about deadlines. I feel good.
Yeah. For another, what were we saying? Like, how many days? 30?
I don't want to know how many days.
30 odd days?
It's not next month, I know that.
Yeah.
I'll run with that.
Yeah, technically. Yeah, no, it's not. It's not. But
It feels like a new era, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a new era.
We're not going to have Els calling us 2 minutes before deadline day saying, yo, what you man saying?
That's mad. That was never us, though. That was never me.
Yeah, we had a few calls.
Did we?
Yeah, a few group calls.
Oh, group calls. Oh, yeah.
Pilot wasn't involved in those though, because obviously he was missing the deadline.
This guy.
When he cared.
Yeah, he don't care no more.
Is it true that he said F?
Yeah, he said
FPL or something?
FPL, yeah, he did.
No, that's not a rumour. That actually happened, yeah?
It's there. It's recorded. There's a receipt is there, so...
Mad.
Yeah, it's tough, you know. That chair, that chair you're sitting on right now, psychiatrist chair, whatever you want to call it. There's always next season.
It's FPL. It's not for everyone. It's not an easy journey, but you battle through.
By the way, I like that league that you did. We'll see that at some point. The chart. I like that. Maybe you should do that. You can do that can do that for next season.
No, I'm not gonna focus on the banter league too much next season. So,
what are you focusing on?
BTS league, bro.
Oh yeah. Talking about leagues and stuff. I was thinking as well about the whole Ballon d'Or situation. I actually spoke to Romaro about it. And we were talking about who we think could win it and stuff. And obviously everyone's talking about Yamal and me, like him and Salah are like front runners, but Salah's never gets anything in it. He never really gets what he should.
Yeah.
So and then I said to him, who's the other guy? I said Dembele's a shout as well if he wins the Champions League. And even if he doesn't.
Oh, it's hot. It feels underwhelming.
Yeah.
Is it feeling underwhelming because we're used to Messi and Ronaldo? Probably.
And we gotta move on from that. But I think it's a bit
right.
I think for Yamal, he's so young. There'll be a lot of controversy behind that.
So I think when Nedved won it, he got like less than 20 GAs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yamal's on 9 goals.
That's not.
We can't go back to the Nedved days where.
That's dread, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just because it did say in that category, and this is what I spoke to Mario about. It's like in that category, it said it's not just down to that. It's down to like his reception, what he does for the game. And to be fair to the kids, to be fair to him, he makes games liven up. Like I haven't really seen a player like do that in those situations. He's always making games. Yeah, he's making it liven up. So. That could be a case to why they consider him, but to not give it to Salah though, I think then you just got to say, well, they're doing it on purpose.
Yeah,
avoiding it.
There's an agenda.
To not give it to Salah, I think you are discrediting goals and assists for
100%.
Ballon d'Or, like by quite a large margin.
Yeah, that's dread. So we'll see what happens in that respect. But I remember last season.
Wait. So just circle back on that quickly.
Yeah.
We're all we can't think of a player better than Salah or who's played better than Salah this season.
Dembele is up there.
I don't think he is.
He is. Well, I think second half of the season he scored
It's
like.
too late. It's Ballon d'Or, not Ballon.
Well, if he wins Champions League, what about Champions? If he wins the Champions League,
Don't care.
still don't matter. Scores
Yeah.
a winning goal, Champions League.
Don't
No,
Don't care.
fair enough. All right. Mbappe, is he up there?
No, but
No.
the thing with Dembele, obviously, if he does win the Champions League, that's a double for him. And if they can argue the case of
It'll be a treble. They won the French Cup, didn't they?
Oh, geez,
yeah, it'll be a treble. Yeah.
It'll be a treble, and if they argue the fact that he's been instrumental throughout those 3 leagues, I think that without the GA, that does give him a right to be up there with Salah. In my opinion.
Definitely a contender. Shortlist. Definitely shortlist. Yeah. But winning, it diminishes it a little bit for me. I tell you guys that I can't think of anyone better than Salah.
To win it this season.
in all comps. I don't put Rafinha above Salah. Sorry.
No,
Nah, you can't really
but
do it now.
he has been quite.
He has been impactful. But
Oh,
him and
yeah,
him
he's
and
been
Yamal are like I mean, well,
If you mixed their GAs into one player, then that person would have been a very good shout.
that person would have won
Clear
it.
one, clear winner.
Yeah.
Do you know? You see when like people have these conversations, yeah.
They get silly with it.
No, it's not even that. One person gets discounted. It's like you can be discounted but still be a 9 out of 10 or had a 9 out of 10 season. It just means that the favourite person just had a 9.5.
100%.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's fine margins out there, man. Yeah. So did you lot watch the Vinny documentary?
Yeah, man, preed that still. It's very interesting. Oh, like, you watch it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Did any of you man do like just go on Wikipedia or chat GPT for it? Or?
Nah, man actually watched
Wait,
it.
does AI watch series?
Yeah. Well,
No, it doesn't.
Well, if you put in, tell me about this documentary, it will tell you in detail. And then if you say, give me detail about it, it will tell you.
Do you know how though? Do you know how it does that?
How?
Because there would have been some sort of synopsis or review
Done
it
before.
pours all that
Probably,
information,
yeah,
and
probably.
then that's how it knows about
Yeah,
it.
and then just puts it together into
Yeah.
whatever detailed whatever.
Yeah, and
Like,
sometimes it has access to scripts as well. Yeah,
that's mad.
if it's published on the internet.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Kids these days don't need to do nothing.
Yeah, it's mad. They got easy, man.
Nothing.
So what did you guys think of it?
I've watched a few documentaries, football documentaries in my time. I thought it was a good one, to be fair. I didn't think going into it that I would feel the way I did about him because, to be honest, after last season, he's kind of fallen off a bit this season, a little bit. He's not, he's still Vinny, innit? But I think this season it's been a bit tougher for him because I think Mbappe joining the team
I was gonna say.
has definitely stunted his growth in a way because he was on pens, he was doing this, he was the main man, innit?
Yeah.
And I said this when they signed him, I said, as a main man, if you sign another main man, there can't be two main men in the team.
That's why I don't
Yeah.
think Liverpool getting Isak will work up there.
He's not now, apparently he's staying, but
Yeah.
if he was to go, apparently he's staying at Newcastle, yeah.
Yeah, because I saw that article.
Because he got
Speculation.
Champions
not
League. Yeah, but we'll
confirmed.
see. But I always said, main man. If you're going to be a main man in the team, Vinny was supposed to be that guy, right? And I just feel like they signed another marquee guy and was like, you are the poster boy. And he was the only. I reckon he's the only other person that could have gone into Madrid at that point, and he would have said, all right, now he's the main guy.
Do you know what it is
Yeah.
though? That's Madrid's culture, innit?
Yeah, they want
To expect if you sign for Madrid,
Yeah.
expect there to be the.
But it's too early though. It's a bit early though for them to be bringing in someone that's like similar in a way to him and say, all right, they're both young-ish. Well, Vinny's younger, but I think Vinny's younger.
When
I think Vinny's younger.
I don't know. But when does it ever make sense though?
But the thing is, with Real Madrid, they needed to after Benzema left.
Yeah.
It's Galacticos. Like, you
Yeah.
can't sign a meaty striker and be like, yeah, we're going to wait for him to get better.
But I think
That's not how they roll.
Mbappe was like to bring him in when they could have signed someone that wasn't meaty, but like let's just say for example they signed Lewandowski, yeah. Let's just say they didn't, but let's just say someone like that, a striker, right? Him and Vinny ain't same, you know, like same.
Yeah, him and Mbappe both want to be off the left cut.
Yeah, I mean,
side.
it's different. It's a different kind of thing. So when I saw that happen, I was like, it's going to be tough for him. And then on top of all of that, obviously, documentary wise, we've all seen it now. You've got your points.
Have we seen it? Have we all seen it?
Well, I've seen it. Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
maybe
have you seen it?
Yesterday. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
maybe when I hear Els's views, then I'll understand that.
I'll try not to talk too much about it and then hand it over to Els. How about that? No, but I think a lot of the things, I mean, his beginnings, obviously starting out, and how he kind of like lives his life, very surprised me a lot. I think that his attitude is the one thing, we're going to talk about this more obviously in depth. I think the attitude for me in football, and you know how I am, I'm a big guy on attitude. Like, you know, when I have kids and they're playing football, I'm going to instill that in them from minute one. Attitude is key. Because man, them watch that. Like all these coaches, these managers, they watch your attitude. They watch what you do outside of football a lot and inside on the pitch, how you conduct yourself. All of that stuff is important to them. They don't play. I even saw I saw a documentary on a little bit on Mertesacker. And I don't know, you've probably seen it. He's talking about the academy kids at Arsenal, and he was saying how everyone goes through him. All the academy kids he sees and finds out about them in
he
school.
Is the academy manager.
Yeah, so. but I'm saying that he, in detail, he goes and says if they're not doing well in school, they don't sign them. They don't get another year.
Actually, it's important.
Everything is important. If they're bad or there's fights or whatever, they get rid of.
Whereas back, that's one of the big shifts in football, because it used to be your technical ability and an attitude was a bonus. Like people like Bravo Morrison, he got to where he got purely through technical ability, not through attitude.
No. But I think it's definitely changing now.
Do you know what? Even with what you're saying now, that brings me on to one point about Vinicius Jr. What I do like about Vinny and what you saw from the documentary is how he had to balance like the flair with tactical discipline.
Took him a while.
He did,
No, 100%. But it's just how he's transformed from like raw talent to like top tier winger for Real Madrid. Like,
I'll give him that.
Cold, man. And mentally and emotionally, the sort of stuff that he went through as well, I think it just shows you someone that kind of, I feel, had to mature faster than modern players.
Probably,
or a lot of younger players that would have been going through what he's had to go through. And on top of that, he still has to almost carry the national expectations as well. Obviously, you're a Brazilian, you know what it comes with. And signing for Real Madrid as well. It's a lot of pressure. And to deal with the pressure side of things, being young, obviously dealing with racism and so forth in Spain, it must have been so hard. And up until certain times when obviously he expressed how he's feeling, you wouldn't have known it. Happy, smiling. You got a rain for it.
So I did I made some notes, boys. I made some notes. Els has segued nicely into sort of some of the conversation topics. So I got some questions for you lot from that documentary.
Say no more.
So I got 4 topics: football, mental and emotional well-being, personal life, and racism. Football. All right. So my first question to you lot: Ancelotti said that he's a machine and he doesn't need rest. Don't need to rest him. And we know we get some freaks of nature, like genetically in football.
Ronaldo, beyond
exactly. Yamal looks like that. Salah, Mane. We could probably
don't get injured a lot.
Messi.
He didn't get injured.
What do you guys think about fans who get angry when players are constantly played and not rested? And then you got people like Vinny and all these players that actually genetically maybe they just don't need a rest. What's your thoughts on that?
I think that everyone is different. I think that everyone's body develops in a different way. Some people's bone structure is different. Some people are a bit more fragile than others. Some people need different kind of levels of care when it comes to playing. And I just feel like if you can see a player don't get injured often, and also obviously if you're bringing them in, you'll know in it like how they're in, like if they've had injuries, major ones or whatever going in, then you know what type of player they are. And I just think that you have to you can't not give players rest. I know that some players thrive off of it and some players, but I think the standard thing on average is to, if a player needs rest, you give him rest, because obviously burnout is a real thing as well. And what happens as well is if you don't give that player rest, right, because it's happened with Rooney, right, Rooney was also like that. He was built like a man from early, and he was built to sustain all kinds of hits, damages, whatever. That was Rooney. However, I remember he did his metatarsal for England. I think it was in.
But that was a tackle though. It wasn't.
I know.
Tear,
but that can. I mean, we've not even seen it from. We've not even seen injuries in that form from Salah, Ronaldo. Them man don't. They're just different, innit? Yeah. So for me, I think that you should always give players rest anyway. You got happening with Saka. I can't lie. I thought up to this point, up to this season, I honestly thought Saka was like that. I thought he was one of those guys where you could just play him. Because Arteta did that, right? You just play him and play him. But then, and I was thinking, no, he's indestructible. Nothing's touching him. Yeah. But
hamstring popped down.
Burnout.
So you look at Diallo then. What was Diallo's injury? Do you not remember what it was?
I'm not sure. I think it was it his... He didn't get kicked or anything.
If you can't remember the injury, Diallo started to become a key player for United. Arguably, him and Fernandes, best players, yeah? What did you lot think about how to manage him in terms of a rest now and then?
Time management.
What did you think else?
I think it's a difficult one in certain clubs' positions because there's times when, as much as you may want to rest the players, you actually can't afford to if you have such a reliance on them to give you the points that you need or the performances that you need.
Especially at United, but I think
100%,
at a big club
for any club, because for me it's individuals and it's a club and fitness team understanding individuals and the sort of fitness that they need, and you have to cater to them if you want to get the best of them, the longevity from them. You've got to understand and cater to their needs. And again, if you do that well, then and your team is in position where you've got depth, then cool, you're fine.
And Madrid have had that. They don't have that.
But then when you don't, and obviously, like as you mentioned, like United, as much as you may want to cater to his needs, you're also like, but there's no one else that we can put in there that's going to give us anything. You kind of need to push through.
So here's another question for you guys, building on from that. So Vinny, he had a personal, like, cultural physiotherapist, Thiago, and Thiago's job was literally just keeping Vinny fit. And
he had a couple of arguments with him.
He did. And one of the things that I liked is that you got an example of a top class player who's got a personal physiotherapist who's getting results, because Vinny didn't get injured for 5 years. Do you not think that clubs should force players to have that, or do you think that's player decision because the clubs have physios? Because I get pissed off when my top players get injured in this day and age of technology and all the information on biology.
I think if you're a young, it depends what age you are, but I guess age that can't come into it anymore. When you're a footballer,
because Vinny had it since 18, isn't it?
18, so there's no excuse. If Vinny at 18-year-old can think about football and think professionally and think maturely, then I don't think really there's an excuse. Not this day, because you can. It's out there, innit? And I think when you get to that level and you go Madrid, if any of us went Madrid, as you know, people that know and understand the game, I think we then say, all right, we got bags coming in, hundreds and thousands of dollars or pounds or whatever it might be, euros, right? Listen, we need to be able to have the cook we can pay for, because they're going to want to cook.
Well, he had his own chef anyway.
Yeah, exactly. We're going to want a chef and all this stuff. We're going to want this. You want to get the fast cars? You want to have the nice house? You want to do all this? Well, what about the other side of things? What about taking care of yourself? What do we need? Do we need a psychologist that we see every now and again that can help us with our psyche and whatever? Do we need an extra coach or trainer for the summer that takes us away? And then do we need a physiotherapist?
The margins are fine, because Gareth Bale spoke about having a special mattress. That there's a specific brand of mattress.
You know what I think it is? I think it's about how far are you willing to go to give yourself the best opportunities to thrive,
to be the best.
And I think, of course, when you're going to a club, doesn't matter how big the club is, the club's going to have physios, they're going to have fitness, they're going to have coaching, they're going to have everything. But if you can take it a step further and you want to give yourself that opportunity, it's like education. Like when people if I could send my children to private school, then I would.
I think
if you can get a private physio who's going to help boost your fitness, get it.
But as a club, you're paying this player a lot of money, right?
Do you think it's
so? Do you think the club should be saying no? It's mandatory for you to take that step. It's not
to go and pay the money.
I don't think it's mandatory, because I don't think the club a club is paying you what they decide to pay.
Yeah.
You can't tell me what to do with my money.
I think that's true. I think
That's
once
true.
once you sign and they're paying you that money, anything you do outside of the game, because Ronaldo will go and get all of these specialists.
Yeah.
He'll do that himself
Yeah.
because he's got that mindset and
Yeah.
he wants to be the best. I think the club gives you everything they need,
Yeah.
everything you need in the club to be good and be as good as you can.
It doesn't
But I think
sit right with me. It doesn't sit right with me.
So you think
that
they should go an extra mile?
I'm just saying, it doesn't sit right with me that I'm paying you 350 grand a week, which is for any business, even football, still a lot of money.
Yeah.
And I know that you're not doing everything you can in your power to protect yourself as an
Okay,
asset.
watch this. As
When
much
we
as-
got trophies on the line and
100%.
everything.
But as much as the clubs pay in XYZ, the amount of money clubs have, why can't you get every player personal physio?
Yeah, that's
invest in the player.
that's a valid point.
And that's
yeah,
that's
that's
what
a
I
valid
think
point.
from a player's perspective is if you want to give yourself the greatest opportunities, you will on your own back go out and do that. And maybe clubs are looking at it and thinking about it. Let's see who wants to do the best for themselves.
As
And
part of
then
the
the club
selection
second.
process.
They do that as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
They want to see how
Yeah.
you're going to deal with
Yeah,
your ship.
yeah.
They feel they're willing to put that on the line and be like, all right, if he really wants it, if he really wants to recover, then fine. If he doesn't, then we're going to bring someone else in.
Yeah.
Because I promise you, all of these clubs have lists of players that they can go back to and go back and get.
Yeah.
You don't think Madrid right now have a list of Brazilian and Argentinians and Spanish and whoever's playing for their teams in their countries right now?
Well, not English, no?
That extensive list.
Yeah,
Madrid, Madrid have probably got a list.
Scouts,
Yeah,
scouts.
They
I
got
don't
that
know
list.
why you went quite
Nah, they
South
got-
American. Didn't want to mention England.
Nah, that's their go-to. Though, isn't it? That's their go-to. Nah, I hear you, but that's their go-to. They got that list.
All right.
Yeah.
So in Vinny's early stages, he was in his first 2 years he struggled. He like technical ability was clear for everyone to see. Maybe he struggled with finishing. Maybe made the wrong decisions with passing. Benzema said to his teammates, "Don't pass him the ball. He's working against us." That got back to Vinny. They addressed it and moved on. But
Yeah, that's a bit
I
bad.
want to know, how would you guys react?
To a player saying that.
Yeah, if you heard that.
Well, I had it when I was playing. There were players that would say don't pass in the ball.
Don't pass you the ball.
No, not me, bro. Never. But don't pass like a new player the ball.
We say that
keeps
to
losing
pro
it.
clubs. I'm just
Never. We ain't played pro clubs in like a year or 2 years now.
That's how much we don't want to pass you.
They're like,
we
don't.
played last week.
Yeah. With no PS5, impossible. We would say don't, or not we, but someone would say don't pass him because he keeps losing it.
Yeah.
For example, he keeps losing the ball or whatever, and that would then be like, all right, wait, hold on, maybe if I give him the ball, he's gonna lose it. And then what happens is those players might give him the ball, and he might lose it, and then you'd be like, oh, it's right. And I think that you can't. It's not. If you're in a team, you shouldn't do that. You can't do that. Like, you can't be filling people's heads with nonsense. And obviously they said they made up in it.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, and they built a good relationship after that.
But I think, especially at that level, bro, you can't be saying don't pass in the ball. He's working against us. Like, he's just gonna lose.
So do you think that was wrong with Ben?
Yeah, 100. I don't think I mean, he's experienced as well, bro.
Yeah.
He's been in the game for long.
And
It's not like he's a youth.
he would have been 33, 34, 35.
He's old, bro.
Do you know what it is?
That's
I
a
think
youth move. Not
someone saying that to me, I think it would bother me coming in that position, because obviously you're looking at Benzema, you're looking at his experience, you're looking at he's the man of the club. So it would bother me, but I think when you're given those sort of opportunities, you just have to channel everything into, right, cool, watch when I get the ball.
Yeah.
I'm gonna, you're gonna pressure yourself, work yourself, you're gonna try and say, cool, let me show them why that ain't right.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
But definitely I'm addressing it though.
Yeah. You
I don't care how old you are to me, how experienced you are, you at the club.
can't be telling man don't pass you the ball. What kind of madness? And I'm at Real Madrid.
Don't do that.
What? We're at the same place, and I'm younger than you. I'm probably gonna be here just as long as you were.
You gotta tell man what. So instead of you trying to help and motivate, encourage me, this is what you're coming with. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't lie. That was
Watch the work rate that I'm about to do.
Yeah, I can't lie. That was a bit of a. When I heard that, I didn't know that happened actually. So it's good that we watched the documentary.
That was insightful.
When I heard that made me think a little bit different to Benzema himself, because that made me think, okay, if he's doing that with him, because you got to understand Vinny's class, isn't it?
Yeah.
If he's doing that with him, how many other
Poor
players?
Rodrigo, man.
How many? Yeah. How many other players has man been talking about saying don't pass the ball over the years?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
All right, so a bit of a timeline because this is going to segue nicely into United and Arsenal, yeah. So
Obviously.
Of course it. Of
Obvious.
course it is.
no, but not like that, boys, not like that. All right, so R9. Can I ask you guys a question? When you refer to Brazilian Ronaldo, do you say R9 or do you say Ronaldo?
Say Ronaldo.
I say Ronaldo. Sometimes I say R9.
How do you know? How do people know what Ronaldo you're talking about?
I say R9
I'm
sometimes.
talking about himself.
If I'm talking,
No, but how would I know what Ronaldo you're talking
Because
about?
you should. There's only one Ronaldo.
Well, it depends what
R9.
context. If we're using-
Cristiano is Cristiano. He's
so use
CR7.
Yeah, so use a context.
Yeah.
I would say Ronaldo,
Yeah.
innit? Like I'm gonna say Ronaldo. You know when I'm talking about Ronaldo, like Brazilian Ronaldo.
Yeah. I feel I have to make some reference that it's the Brazilian one.
I think that's because of the modern generation.
Yeah.
Because they're more aligned to obviously
Cristiano,
Cristiano Ronaldo.
yeah,
So they're just saying
yeah.
Ronaldo.
Yeah.
But when you're talking to older people, I would like to think majority still remember Ronaldo as R9. And
Yeah.
so if you're saying Ronaldo, they should know.
All right, cool. So anyway, R9 does the press conference release for the
For
transfer,
Real
yeah,
Madrid.
for Vinny.
Yeah.
Now, R9's got links. Ronaldo's got links with Real Madrid, and separate bit we put the two together. Vinny dominated the under-17 World Cup, and he started getting interest from City, Chelsea, Spurs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, Ronaldo probably had a hand in Vinny coming to Madrid, but how did you lot feel about not hearing United and Arsenal went in for him, given that he was 45 mil, hot talent, look at where he is today, and friggin' Spurs went in?
Spurs is their recruitment in the last few years, I think it's changed quite a bit. If I look at United and Arsenal's recruitment in the last 20 years, and we spoke about this, how many Brazilian don't, and I don't want to hear Martinelli and them.
Why not? He came from Brazil.
But that's new. That's recent. I'm saying before that, Brazilian white. I'm talking before that. Recently, obviously, Arsenal's been looking at it, but I don't establish now. Like these days, I'm not surprised about City. I'm not surprised about Chelsea going for everyone anyway. But when it comes to United and Arsenal, they've not really had a Brazilian contingent until now. You guys now you have Gabriel, you have obviously Martinelli, Jesus. I don't know who else you've had. That's Brazilian.
Marquinhos is on loan.
Maybe, yeah. But it's not really. That's recent times, isn't it? Because you guys still got those players, right?
But talent's talent, though. If Chelsea and Spurs, if he can be picked up on Chelsea and Spurs' radar,
Chelsea understand because they love a
For
Brazilian.
United,
go on.
I don't think we've had the greatest success with Brazilian players.
Yeah, no, I think we signed a couple, quite a few duds.
Oh no. The Raphael was good.
Who?
Raphael, the twin.
The twins were, the twins were
Yeah,
alright.
they're right.
But the twins,
It was alright.
the twins were. Did you know that the twins were actually? They got dual.
Nationality.
Yeah, they can play for Portugal as well.
Okay, cool.
So I don't know if they lived in Portugal and were also Brazilian. So,
but still,
No, on a general, I mean,
it don't bother you.
No, it
bothers me.
It bothers me in a sense of anytime there's a young player who comes out to be big, when you look at United's history, you'd like to think we should be knowing about any star that's going to get big and we should be in the top runners for them.
yeah, we don't
So
sign
it bothers
those.
me in that sense, but I mean, mate,
I'm not
it's
surprised.
different times for us over here.
Yeah, it is now. But but I mean, through time, we've not really been a club that signs young Brazilian talent and brings it through the first team. That's Chelsea have done that. I haven't seen Tottenham do it, but they're starting to, I guess, do the same thing.
Okay,
as Chelsea.
so Els has answered the question. Does it bother you, Craig?
A little bit. No, not a little bit, but not as much as maybe other people. Maybe.
Yeah. All right. Cool. All right. So
You look at it like, why did we get Martinelli when we could have got Vinny?
No, I don't get both because we got Martinelli for cheap.
How old was
Martinelli was our best example of what Brighton do. Because we got Martinelli not even from Brazilian Prem.
Yeah.
I think he was like Brazilian League 1 or 2.
Colder.
And we got him for less than like $1.5 million.
Yeah.
So I want to see more of that. Like, if we sell him, the profit is a joke.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the big up Brighton, man.
You're basically selling him and getting money off what academy players are going to
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. All right, so Kyle Walker now, yeah,
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah.
All right. So Ronaldo is talking to Vinny. So basically, you got so R9's giving Vinny advice about how to deal with Kyle Walker after the quarter-final draw for the Champions League, where Vinny says, I don't mind getting anyone, but actually I prefer not to get City, and they draw City. So my question to you guys is, I was surprised that Kyle Walker's name is getting mentioned by legends like R9. How, like, have we underestimated Kyle Walker's reputation in Europe?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah. He's won the Champions League. He's playing week in, week out against like top level wingers, and he's dealing with them. And so much so that Ronaldo had to say, the way I would have done it against him is I would stop, shimmy, and then go again, and do it however many times, and then he'll be spinning around, and then he won't be able to keep up with you anyway and get dizzy. And
so do you not think about Walker's history when you think about Walker and why he is like?
I think
he's in the runnings of talking about as at least in top 10 best right backs.
Do you know what it is?
Do you not consider it already as a basis?
Do you know what it is with Walker? Yeah, right back, very pacey, obviously decent, good defensively. But whenever we've spoken about world-class right backs, it's initially the glamorous right backs that come to mind, like Cafu as an example, Zambrotta, Dani Alves, where we still have their legacy, I feel, in our hearts. So then when it comes to Kyle Walker, who's like a different mold of right back, I don't think we've probably appreciated him as much as the rest of Europe do. Because for R9 to be talking about him,
do you know what? To be fair,
I mean, these days,
if you're playing Football Manager or one of those games, and you're looking to get a banging right back,
you go for Kyle Walker. Don't know Kyle Walker.
Wait, hold on, no.
I don't think one of the first people that comes, and you've got money. I don't think one of the first names that comes to your mind is Kyle Walker.
I don't think it is.
I don't know.
I don't think it is. Like, you can't invert. You wouldn't have him as an attacking right back. He's a defensive right back, which is the primary job, of course. But
but he's cold. I do get it to a certain extent, but at the same time, I think if you are looking at who your opposition is, I think knowing the pace that Vinny has, you're obviously going to know that Kyle Walker is going to be the one that he's going to be paired against. So I think for that example, it's almost normal for Ronaldo to be like, FYI, this is how I would deal with Walker.
I think Ronaldo, I think we underestimate his knowledge of friggin' everyone that's playing football possibly in all the leagues. I think we just look at him like, he don't really. I mean, he's not really watching Prem like that.
Okay, but can you blame us though?
Yeah, I guess.
Shall I tell you why I say that? Because like Ronaldo, Ronaldinho, Robinho, they weren't known for putting in hours after training like Ronaldo, like Cristiano. They were known for partying. We got 3 or 4 golden years out of Ronaldinho.
But this is what I say, there is a curse of the Brazilian player. And that is that, and I will always say this, and that is that they obviously, especially when they're young, they get these big deals, they move over to Europe, and it's just like something they've never ever experienced in their whole entire lives. Everything that they've dreamed of, they get. They see, and they do all of these things. They see all these things, they do what they can, they get all this money, and then when they get
why is that different to any other
I feel like from coming from Brazil or coming from that background, they're coming from favelas, and they're also seeing how the richer can live in Brazil, because it's quite close. The favelas and especially in Rio, like it's quite close to the people that got money in it. And they can see how it would look if they had money, but they never have it. And then when they get it, I feel like once they get to a point, I feel like they just think, well, I've made my money, I've done what I need to do, people love me in Europe
and back home,
and then they go back home, and when they go back home with all that money, they're then just like those rich people that they wanted to be, and that's why most of them put on weight, because they're probably eating a lot and so well, they're partying as much as they can. When you look at Ronaldinho, Ronaldo, Roberto Carlos, Adriano, all of them, they all look the same.
They all look podgy now.
They all look the same. All of them put on weight. All of them, bro. And that's because they go back and they enjoy their lives. Because I guess they deserve to, bro.
They deserve to, but also you can imagine the culture in Brazil is very much free flowing.
Go back,
partying.
Imagine
when I say partying, I'm not necessarily talking about bars and stuff. I'm talking about even as a young child, you could just imagine the community wise as a very loving life type. So when you've gone out,
imagine leaving there,
very strict life. Remember, they haven't just gone out and become rich. They've gone and became professional
Footballers,
world class. Their life has been strict from the moment they left right up until they retired. They probably come back and they'll be like, oh my gosh, I've missed to be able to just be free.
Now I can spend money in Brazil, in Rio. I can do what I want. Rio de Janeiro, I can.
Yeah, but African footballers aren't like that, and they have a similar culture.
Their culture is a bit. African culture is different, man.
No. Okay, we're talking about partying.
Their party, but
who's dancing more? If you had a lineup of a Nigerian and a Scottish man, who's going to dance more on the pitch?
Scottish and Nigerian. What do you mean? Why are they being compared?
Because the point I'm making is that the party, dancey, free flowing enjoyment lifestyle, that's very African as well.
But the difference,
I don't think it's as much
not the same as.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you guys. Who's skanking more, Brazilians or Africans?
But also,
Brazilians, 100.
Even as much,
100.
the real lifestyle, core lifestyle, culture side of things. Because even culture-wise, Africans are known to be more strict.
Exactly. They're like from early doors.
Okay, but shall I tell you why I disagree? Shall I tell you why I disagree? If you look at like core Africa now, we look at tribes. Tribes. If you look at rituals, there's dancing in every ritual, whether it's a Nigerian tribe, a South African tribe, an East African tribe, there's some sort of dancing ritual. It's ingrained in the culture.
It's a ritual.
But it's still a dance. And they're enjoying it and
Brazil,
they're smiling.
You would wake up and wash the dishes dancing samba.
Yeah, samba is a different thing. Samba is different.
It's a different.
Just for the audience, we're saying that Brazilians are skanking harder than Africans.
100%. Samba.
I would love to hear
Samba.
Either South African or West Africans' view on this. I would love to hear that. All right, cool. Let's move on. A couple of facts for the audience. After Vinny and Benzema made up, Vinny then had his best goal scoring season to date, 17 goals, 10 assists, 21-22. That was his 4th year with the club. But moving on, mental emotional well-being. Now, I got a question for you guys, Vinny brought over mum, dad, siblings, nephew, and 2 friends. One of the friends, Mendetta, can't remember his name, but the no man. Right. How important? Well, so many questions here, guys. First one is, if you guys are at Vinny's level, do you rate having a friend, or do you put importance on having a friend who's going to tell you no?
100%.
Someone who's going to keep you in check.
1,000%.
You need to have someone.
Because your life is different now. But if you've got a friend who knows you, who knows who you were, I think they're key to you humbling you in certain, and also making sure that you're not making certain decisions that isn't you.
100%.
And you're not letting certain things change you. I think it's
important to go to places. If you can do that and you have the money to bring your friends, your actual people that know you, go into a foreign country, it's the best thing you can do, because you might not speak the language that he does, it's Spanish, but he can understand it. But you might go to somewhere and you don't really know anyone. You're meeting people that don't really know you and don't really care about you. They won't really care about who you are. You might meet these new people and they're just like, okay, he's rich, he's got this, he's got that, and that's why I'm with him. These men have been with you and your family as well, obviously, but these friends have been with you from when you dirt cheap, not got nothing. He even said, I remember having like a can Coke, and he was just drinking it, and he was like, I would be just drinking it, and
for the whole night,
no one knows it's empty.
Drinks, they think I'd beer.
That's mad. That for me is crazy. That's where he's come from. So, and them man know that, innit? So I feel like they can see that and they care more. You know, when things happen, they care more. I remember the friend talking about when they got stopped. We'll get into it, obviously. But yeah, definitely.
One of the things that stuck out. So we actually got onto the African topic. I forgot about this, but one of the guys said that Vinny gets a lot of stick for dancing, but he said that's the Brazilian and African culture, and he said a lot of prejudice comes from that, because it's not the European way.
Oh yeah, I saw that. There's in that report. A reporter said that.
They didn't have to dance.
The reporter said, didn't he say that? He said stop dancing like a monkey.
We'll get onto that in the racist bit, but that's a deep. We'll finish on that one. So this is a question for you guys now. So Vinny, when he was at Flamengo, he done 2 years there, because Madrid signed him at 16, but legally he couldn't move to Madrid until he was 18. At Flamengo, he was the best player there, and the fans absolutely loved him. And at 18, he had to say goodbye to the club that not only loved him, but was his granddad's dream to play for. And I think his granddad passed away. So have you guys? What's been your most difficult goodbyes? Because that looked hard for Vinny to say goodbye to Flamengo, and he was young.
I'm assuming that goodbye, like to have that, I'd not really had like that's a goodbye. You're not just saying goodbye to the team. You're saying goodbye to your family. You're saying goodbye to everything that stands for.
To the city, really, innit? Because Flamengo, like Rio de Janeiro,
everything. And as a young player, like you are. Yeah, your head's probably all over.
Well.
Yeah. So it's a vulnerable position to be in. I've never had to, I've moved away from home to play football and stuff, but never at that level, like that. It's far away. Yeah. It's further away than anything I've ever done. So I can't imagine.
But what's your most difficult goodbye?
I think it's been like that, to move away from home and play football
and say bye to
my family. Yeah. Know that I'm not going to see them the same way. It's hard. That was hard.
What about you, Els?
I don't really say goodbyes. Oh.
What'd you say then? Hello?
Nah, I mean, like, I've never really had anything where I'm so emotionally invested in, other than obviously like families passing away. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We need to capture his moment on camera, innit?
And then the tears come out soon.
Mine's definitely my little boy living abroad. When he gets emotional saying goodbye, I'm finished. I am finished. So I had empathy, two different things, but it was easy for me to have empathy for Vinny in that moment. Because I kind of because
there's nothing you can't really do anything. The situation is like how it is, and you can't change it, and that's how it's got to stay for a while. So it's hard to say goodbyes, man.
The thing is, we also got to remember as well, his goodbye came with a positive.
Yeah, because he said it in his message as well.
It wasn't such a negative goodbye. Like, obviously for him, he knows he's leaving something that is very close to him, very emotional for him, and it's been a key part of his life growing up. But he's moving to a dream.
Just to put significance of what Flamengo meant to him and his dad. So his dad tattooed his debut game on him. And Vinny got it tattooed on him as well. So it's like it was a significant moment.
Big.
Personal life. So he had a gym, he had a lift in his house, he had a barber. What would your barber situation be if you was at Vinny's level?
Gotta have your own, innit? You have to have your own barber.
At Vinny's level, if you're in Real Madrid. At Stardom.
It could be at Stardom, but for you guys, I want to pose it that you're abroad. Because Vinny had to go abroad as well, innit? So you've gone to AC, Inter, Real Madrid, PSG. Well, forget PSG, that's local.
I would fly my barber up, because if he can't live in the country, I'm not gonna get everybody to live in the country that I am in. So my barber, I get my trim from, is because it's a trim every 2 weeks. Let's just say it's 2 weeks, right? Not every week, maybe every week if you're playing Real Madrid, but every week and a half or whatever, I would book him a flight and say, I'll pay you like what you would have made that week from you, that man. In your shop, I'll pay that for you, so you get that back, and then some probably, because he's not gonna just give him that, innit? And then you could stay at my house or whatever, because I have a big house, and we just do that, trim me, and then I fly back out. How does that sound? And they probably be like, car 100. I get this jet setting, innit? That's what I do.
I'll be honest, if money is good, like life-changing good for those around me as well, for me, I'd be looking at the man them or close cousins or whatever, and be like, yo, any of you lot want to start barbering? Because this is my life now, and I'm moving overseas, and I'm going to need a barber. I'm going to need a lot of things in my life. For me, I'll be trying to bring the man them through, my family through, and giving them opportunities to be like, yo, you can change what you're doing and come over here, and there's going to be opportunities, because I'm going to pay someone to do this.
That's learn to be a barber by
everything,
force.
Like, even like fitness coaches, chefs, all of those things. If I'm going somewhere and I'm going to end up paying someone to do it, I'd rather get to the people that I know.
You see, I'm with Els on that. I like the idea of like everything I need being around me, because in the doc they were saying Vinny can't go restaurant. they called his house a sports athletes prison or cage, and he's got to find ways to be happy there because he can't go out. So for me, if I'm like that, I want so many things as close to me as possible. So if it's like with the barber situation, I need a trim every 2 weeks or a week and a half. What else can you do? Because move over, bro.
Yeah.
And I like Els's idea. I love the idea of opening up opportunities for family and loved ones, but it's not like I'm giving you bread. I'm giving you a mantle, a purpose. Yeah. I like that idea still. I like that one. So yeah, chef. He had a chef. Now, obviously in football, like there needs to be requirements on what you eat, dietary, etc. Any athlete really. What are you lot saying about the chef situation?
I'm struggling. How do you make like healthy oxtail? Healthy mutton, healthy curry.
You can't do that.
Struggling.
That food's out the window, bro. That food is gone.
Like, is there a healthy jerk seasoning?
Nah, bro. There isn't.
That would
It's
be probably
calories.
the most difficult thing for me.
It's calories, bro.
So I just hope my chef knows how to bring in some kind of flavors that I can really deal with on a day-to-day basis.
I'll be alright with it, man. Every day is good food.
Yeah.
You got your own chef. They're probably gonna make nice stuff, breakfast, lunch, dinner. Obviously, there's gonna be occasions when you can have maybe cheat meals now and again as well. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with that, man. I would do
That is wild, though. Man saying oxtail curry goat's a cheat meal.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's painful to me.
Yeah. Do you know what I don't get? Yeah,
There's a lot of sugar in that, bro.
I hear that, but it tastes so good.
Yeah. Do you know what's mad? Yeah. Did you not hear about the story of Mamadou Sakho,
About
ex-Liverpool, Palace, PSG captain who's 19?
What happened?
The doping ban. Did you hear about that?
Yeah.
So basically, I think he tested positive and was about to get a ban, but he was adamant he had it cheated. Obviously, everyone says that, yeah. Long story short, did the research, traced back everything he ate. He found that black seeds in the bread that he got from the bakery contained the hormonal chemical that elevated his levels
insane.
to be.
That's insane.
That's crazy. That's crazy. He was allowed to go out and buy food.
How do you keep sanity? How do you keep when you know you're innocent?
You know I'm gone. I'm toast. Do you know what?
That's mad.
My career will be done at that because of how I would feel knowing that I ain't done it. That injustice, I wouldn't have a career after that. Unless, and this is the thing about having good people around you, unless someone could be like, nah, don't worry, we'll get to the bottom of this because I believe you and I know you ain't doing it. So that means something's happened and we'll find out what it is.
Yeah. Cool. Let's move into racism, yeah? Because this I think put Vinny on this, and his Champions League goal against Liverpool put Vinny on the map, yeah? So reporter says, if you want to dance samba, go to the samba joint in Brazil, quit acting like a monkey. Backlash. Atletico Madrid game, there was a noose, so they made a dummy of Madrid, of Vinny, and hanged him on a noose on the bridge. And then in the Valencia 21-22 game at the Mestalla, there was a lot of racist chants every time Vinny touched the ball, and it got to the point where there's a scene where Vinny actually hears a fan doing a monkey noise and he calls him out of his teammate in the stand. We've not gone through every detail, but everything we've covered today show anyone who's smart would understand Vinny was under a lot of pressure, but still played it at a young age as well. But of everything he went through, it wasn't the first team pressure that broke him, it wasn't the cup finals that broke him, it was this game where he actually cried on the pitch and he said he didn't want to play. Have you guys ever had a moment, or what's your worst affected moment by racism that you've experienced personally?
Do you want to go first or should I? You want to go first? Go on. You want?
Obviously Els ain't that bad because he's laughing. But was it a black joke by a comedian or something?
Nah.
What do you call black people in a pool? Cocoa Pops? Is that what yours is?
I'm laughing. Do you know what it is? I'm laughing because this is probably something that you don't know the person, but you don't even know the story.
Go on, let's hear this.
So imagine having a good friend, yeah, and he's calm. Everything about this person.
Who, Craig?
They're calm, they're good, everything's blessed with them. But I remember one of the times we was rolling out, so I'm driving out and I think he had to pick something up from his yard. Now bear in mind, before this, he's been in my house, family, he's cool, innit? Mum and dad know him, everything, so whatever. And one time, so I was driving out and I was with him, and he needed to pick something up from his yard. So, he's obviously telling me how to get there, blah blah blah. And he's like, oh, yeah, just park here and go around the corner because it's gonna get longer if my dad sees you in the car, sees me coming out of your car. And like in my head, I'm thinking, yo, we've been friends for like 2.5 years. You're good, you know. Like obviously, he knows enough of my people's friendship wise. Been around the family, and it just hit me at that point where it's like, rah, there's still people that may have to hide their friendship. And it bothered me.
In your story, like he just said, he didn't imply race. So how did you know it was? Oh, he told you.
Yeah.
Okay, that's peak. That's peak.
So like, obviously for him, it didn't make me think anything less about him and nothing less about his family. I just sat down and I realised, I was like, wow, like, are we really still in that times where people's may have to hide their friendships with certain races? And like, I'll be honest with you, like I said, it's not something that really, really bothered me, but I did take a sit back and think to myself, yo, that's deep, you know? But the thing is, but also just add to that now it's nothing. Like his dad's calm. Like me and his dad's crack jokes and all of that stuff. Like it's all cool. And I think it's just sometimes when you live in London and certain histories of families and so forth, unfortunately for them is they still have certain things still ingrained in them. And they haven't been open to certain opportunities to experience different cultures, to actually realise, do you know what how I was living before, or how life was before, that's not right. This is what's right. Everyone's cool.
Was it the moment of like the realization of being conscious of your skin color? Because that whole day you don't know you're black. You're just a human living your day, right?
No, I'm black still.
Okay, yes, obviously.
I know I'm black.
Yes, you know you're black, but an external factor's pointing out that you're black.
Well, to be honest with you, there's a number of different experiences that you have growing up. I mean, I've gone to clubs and I've gone to clubs. I'm not even going to mention which clubs or whatever, but I've gone to clubs and they're like, not today, lads. And I remember it's happened a few times. And like, I'm talking like, you know, when those sort of clubs, like you're trying to go, let's go there on Saturday, let's go there on Saturday. And it took us a few times to realise, like, the excuse there was given us. At the time, we're just thinking, we didn't really care, we'll go somewhere else, we'll do. You know, when you're young, you're like, it's calm, there's plenty motives. But when it started to really bother us is when there were certain events going on at the club and we'd go and be like, not tonight, like, no trainers. And we'd be like, alright, cool. And as we're walking, we're looking in the queue and there's other races in the same trainers. And even worse, you know what we're like when we roll out. We look clean. So we're like, bro, man's got the same trainers as me, but his is busted and he's calm in the smoking section chilling. And like little things like that. And then, but unfortunately, I think the thing that is bad is I grew up in a way where it was just almost, you just kind of like, they're just being long today. And you kind of just accepted it rather than really deeped the racism at that point. And you just kind of was like, it's a way of life, innit? Like, it happens certain times. Certain people are racist, certain people are not. Just keep it cracking.
I suppose the closeness though, like a security, like clubs, it's not the same as
No. But that's what I mean. But that's what I mean in the sense of like, I've always been aware that your skin color can have effects on certain things of what you're doing in your life, innit? Even from school days, you can tell, like, you go into a classroom, certain teachers are moving a certain way, like two people are talking and you're the one that gets in trouble. Things like that. So it's my era of growing up was those things were still relevant, but growing up it was just like, yo, like, life is hard, you deal with these things, you just keep on going. But I'd probably say that particular time was at a time where I thought, obviously I'm out of education, I thought things were normal now, but clearly for some people, obviously older generations, it may not be.
Just to lighten things up a bit, I heard a story about Els and McDonald.
McDonald's?
McDonald? Yeah, the story goes, Els was with one of our white friends, and then he shouts out a racial slur to black people and then hides. So it looks like the white guy.
I didn't know, and when I first heard that, I was like, I didn't know that you did. I didn't know you did that sort of stuff. Still mad.
Els is a guy, you know. He's
Can I just say one thing? I promise you, it was probably payback for something he had done.
He's
done that random.
I can imagine.
That was definitely watch, I'm gonna get you one.
I can imagine.
What a way to get him back still. Anyway, go on, Craig.
No, I mean, there's been a few cases in my life with I guess there was one when I was driving. It's always driving in it sometimes, especially here, bro. If you're getting stopped or whatever, and we've all grown up with this in our lives, so this is something that we know, especially living in London, it can be like this. But I was driving, and I even had like tints, I remember, on the window, and my little sister was on the passenger seat. She was sleeping. I think she was maybe 7, maybe 6 years old, and I got stopped. They saw me. My windows weren't in, just the back two, and they saw me and they were like, they stopped me. They pulled me over. I was just like, what's going on? Like, why'd you stop me? And they were just like, the usual. This car is, reported as being involved in like a robbery or some madness. And I was like, is it? Okay. And I just remember the way that they looked at me, the officers at the time. It just wasn't. Like we've been stopped before, innit? And I just feel like they really were trying to like single me out for being who I was, and then they made me wait the longest time. And I was like, I need to take my sister home, all the stuff. They checked everything they could on me, everything they could. Obviously, everything was fine, but in that, from that, like, and that was early. That was when I was like 19 or something. So, and I think that was the first time I had it. I think that was the first time I had it at that level, sort of thing, where I could tell 100. That was how it was. Because maybe us